Welcome to Employco HR Chat. I'm Rob Wilson, and with me is Jason Eisenhut.
Hi, everyone.
Thanks for joining us this week for our HR Chat. So, Jason, thought we'd talk about COBRA for a few minutes.
So I'll spare everyone my singing voice, but I was going to sing happy birthday to COBRA. April 7th of 1986. So the 40-year anniversary of when President Ronald Reagan, signed COBRA into law a little after the Bears won their last Super Bowl. So we've hit in 40 years of COBRA. So we thought it'd be a good time, good anniversary event to kind of recap the basics of COBRA.
Thanks for reminding us, those of us in Chicago, that's been 40 years since we won a Super Bowl, too. So,
yeah, the fridge.
So, yeah, COBRA, it's a continuation of your health insurance benefits after you're no longer employed.
The vast majority of the time, it's when an employee leaves the organization. Sometimes you have like divorce or something like maybe, unfortunately, death of an employee. But most of the time, it's an employee leaving the organization. COBRA, the federal COBRA, kicks in, or employers are required if you have 20 employees or more.
Right.
So if you have 20 employees or more, you have to offer your former employee who is covered under your group health insurance, the same continuation, same kind of conditions as your active employees. That employee begins paying up to 102% of the premium.
Right. So they allow the business or insurance company to charge an extra 2% for processing administration fees. So 102% of your premium.
And that's on medical, dental, vision, and what's a lot of employers miss is the healthcare FSA. So a lot of employers think, oh, it's just the insurance, medical, dental, vision, but healthcare FSA, not the dependent care FSA, the daycare one, but healthcare FSA, those four, if the employee's enrolled in any of those four, you have to offer COBRA and offer them the ability to continue the coverage after their termination date.
And it doesn't include disability or life insurance as well. So
that's exactly right.
Interesting too. So one of the things that we hear quite often is that, oh, COBRA is so expensive. But what employees or former employees forget is that majority of companies pay for part of your health care. Yeah. So that part does stop. So people that after they leave an organization, then they realize how much the actual business is paying on their health care.
I was only paying $300 a month. Now I went up to $1,000. What happened? Like COBRA so expensive? Yeah, it's because you're paying the full cost and plus maybe that 2% administration fee.
Yeah, but in the scheme of things, the 2%, right. But it's really that employer portion is no longer paid for, right? Yeah. So that's on the federal level. It applies to 20 employees or more, but every state has different rules on a state standpoint.
Yeah, they're called mini, M-I-N-I, mini COBRA plans. So, like for example, in the state of Illinois, we have a mini COBRA. So if you're an employer in Illinois and you have 15 employees, you still have to offer your employees the ability to continue the coverage. It's not the federal; it's called the mini COBRA in Illinois. It's not for the 18 months under federal. You have to offer them a maximum of 12 months. So the provisions under the state versus the federal are a little bit different in the length and how much premium the person pays, like 100% versus 102. But most organizations are going to be subject to some type of COBRA, whether it's the mini or the federal.
And it's one of the headaches of when you look at things on a federal level. When you look on a state level, between workers' comp, state unemployment taxes, COBRA. There's so many things that are run by individual states that if you have people working from home, working remote in a variety of states, you have to comply with those states. So it's one of the advantages of what we do is we're turnkey across all 50 states for clients, so they don't really have to worry about that. We make sure they're in compliance, but if you're not working with someone like Employco, it's
hard to stay on top.
It's hard to stay on top because if you've got an employee in Illinois versus Colorado versus Georgia, all three are different.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, very, very different. And then maybe you can lean on your broker if you're not using it. But we're kind of that one-stop shop on HR and payroll and benefits. But yeah, check into it if you haven't already on what to offer your former employees when they're no longer covered.
Yeah, so COBRA, it's a pretty easy process. Your insurance company might handle it. In some cases, they're going to defer to you to handle it. So it depends on who your insurance company is. But at the end of the day, whether they do it or not, legally, it's your responsibility.
Good point.
But appreciate you joining us. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at hr@employco.com. That goes directly to Jason. Yeah. So happy to help if you have some HR issues or other questions. And most of our chats that we do, Jason has a nice PDF that kind of summarizes the key points, so he can send that to you as well. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you.